Afternoon everybody, welcome to the Flower Patch. My name is Iris Smith, where I make beautiful artificial flower arrangements for all occasions. Welcome guys, and thank you for joining me. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and thank you so much for all your wonderful messages as well. Right, today I've got an order to do, and this is for a gentleman. He wants a wreath doing in the colours of creams, you know, like a tanny colour, you know, browns, light browns, and also maybe some red or really dark red as well. More like an autumnal colours. He wants this basically because he wants it to be up for summer and then also going into autumn as well. So he wants a bow, but he wants it quite neutral. He asked for browns. He came to see me. He asked for you know, a brown. He picked the ribbons, and he also had the 1.5 inch cream colour or neutral with white in as well, and then the 5/8 in the brown where it's got glitter on, but the glitter doesn't shed. So we've done him the bow already. He does want a 16 inch grapevine wreath, so he wants it in that. And he's also, the things that he's chosen are, he likes this sort of colour red, you know, like a burgundy. So he's chosen some huckleberry. He's also said he'd like some foliage what is, you know, slightly just lighter in shade, because I did say, you know, a bit of light tones in greenery and foliage do make your arrangements come alive as well. So he's chosen the Fittonia. This is my deluxe one where I sell it in my other business, Leafy Luxuries. So if you go onto my Facebook account for Leafy Luxuries, you will find this in there as well. So he's chosen the Fittonia. So we've got out the two bunches. He does want some fern in it. He did say he does like fern, so he's chose the bigger fern. He's also chose the Shakibi spray, and again this one is from my other business again. So he's chosen Shakibi spray as well. So I've got 3 of those out. He's chosen some very light maple leaves, and I told him I've got these on picks, and he was fine about that. And he said he'd like those slightly, you know, maybe placing, his exact words were, here and there. So we've got out the maple as well. For the, if I just grab them, he does mainly, it has stuck to peonies and hydrangeas. So he's chosen these like a, now they're like a very light brown coloured hydrangea, so he's chosen those. He's also, and he fell in love with these ones. So these are, let me think, peonies. Oh, gosh, I had to think then. But he's chosen, he loves the colour of these. He's also chosen some peonies, the bigger heads in the two-tone where there's cream and brown, and he's also chosen the cream peonies as well. So he wants everything virtually in peonies and hydrangeas. But he did choose to go with them, with the huckleberry. He chose some of our hellebore. So I've got 3 stems of those out as well, which we're going to place in also. Now, I did say I do like to add a few wispy bits. So I suggested these. I've got 3 colours in here. There's like a terracotta colour, then there's like a cream colour, and then we've got white. So I think we may go with the cream colour, or maybe the white, because we've got a lot of brown. So we've got that as well. So that's what, oh, and I did find these, and as I was going along, and I thought, these are some of my scraps bucket. I thought, well, I'll just add those for him if I, around the edge or something like that, or in the centre of the wreath, because there's only 1, 2, 3, 6 little pieces. So they're the hydrangeas, so I'll probably add those in for him. So that is what we've got today. Oh gosh, what have I done with? Let me get the foliage. I tend to bring the foliage to the front, nearer to me, because it's what we're going to be, using first. So again, I've got a 16-inch grapevine wreath. I think I've placed that on the wrong area. So let's just take it off and have another look. It may need to go here. So here is 16-inch grapevine. I did ask him if he wants me to tidy it up. He said, he's not really bothered either way. But if I don't, he's, not to worry. So that's what we're going to do today, guys. And it is very, very windy here. So if you hear a few whistling from the wind, my apologies. The sun is out, but the wind is extremely strong. So we're going to get started, and I'll bring the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. So one moment, everyone. You see, I keep thinking I may bring it up a bit higher, bring it in. I just don't want to, hide anything that we can see. I think that's about as far as I can get it to come in. So I think I picked up again another chest infection. I was around somebody a few days ago, I think Monday, a couple of days ago, and I tried to stand away from them, but because I was in the same room, I think I've started to pick up the cough or something. So again, my apologies for that. Right, first of all, I'm going to add in our Shikibi spray, and I'm going to chop this up because I'm going to use these as my background foliage. So let's just take off the tag, and I'm going to cut them right at the bottom. Let's just open those up. I do save these for if I need to use them for something else. I'll cut another one up, because it is quite a big wreath. I do usually work on around 14-inch grapevines. But this gentleman wanted quite a big one. So I'll use those to start with. And you do have some spare prongs on these, as you can see, with no leaves on. They are just if you want to pull off your leaf and place it higher up or lower down, however you'd like it to be. So I'm going to keep it as it is. I'm just going to slightly give the stem a little bend so it doesn't look too straight and it's more of a natural look. So we're going to place these in, and I'm going to go on the outside And then we're going to come here as well. So we're going to go like a zigzag. Bring that in a little. So we're just going to carry on doing this. There we go. He does just want a crescent shape or a half moon shape. He doesn't want a full wreath. I did suggest, you know, with it being such a big wreath, you know, would he prefer a full wreath? And the gentleman did say no. He is a joiner, so he said he'd like to see some of the wood. My husband's a joiner. He owns his own business and he loves anything to do with wood. So I understand that. So we're just going to carry on going. I think I've just realised, guys, I've done it wrong. I should have turned these round the opposite way. Gosh. I've got so much on my mind I've got to do. But that's no excuse, is it really? So it's this one and this one which is in the wrong place. So when you're doing a crescent shape wreath, when you get to around, as you're looking at it, 9 o'clock, you start to place your stems going up. And from 12 o'clock to 9 o'clock, you place them going down. And I just forgot. A little mistake. Let's just bend that stem. I think I could do with one more, so I'm going to cut one more off of the other bunch. So we've got it like that, and we're showing this side of the wreath. You just cut that bit off. Now he wants his ferns, so I'm not going to place them on, you know, just like this. Again, I think with this one I'm going to, instead of putting them on picks, I'm going to have a few together. If I can just get that off my finger. So I'm going to cut one there. That's just one on its own. We'll do that like that. And if some are facing the opposite way like this one is, you've got one facing up and one facing down towards the, you know, the bottom. If you can twist your leaves around there to make them both facing upwards, that would be super great. So I'm not going to overload with the fern. I think one stem would be more than enough with it being quite large. So let's just turn that one back round. Like so. Oh, and do this one as well. Again, I'm so sorry if you can hear the wind. I don't know if you can or not. I don't know if it's the camera's picking it up. Again, I'm just moving the stems slightly so they look a bit more natural. And then we'll place one here. Just turn that one round. And have that. Like that. I could place one here, in fact. I'll just get the other bunch. Let's just take the tag off of this. Just to balance it out, so then it's got odd number, and then we haven't excuse me, we haven't got such a big gap here. So we've got it like that, and you can lift up your stems just to give them that extra little bit of volume, so they're not flat. So there we have that. Now, do I place in... Now, these are push-ups. And you know we all love a push-up, don't we, guys? It makes us, you know, feel like we've got a little more control over our placement of our stems. So again, you can have them all up to the top like that and use them like as filler foliage, or with them being a push-up, you can spread your leaves up and down the stem, so you've got it more, you know, with the leaves all around the stem. So I'm just going to leave them where they're, you know, they're not all pushed up to the top. You get 6 stems on the bunch, which is, I find, quite odd, because I'm used to having 5 or 7 on a stem. here instead. So that's what we have at the moment. I always say it doesn't look, you know, perfect, or it might look a bit, you know, messy with all the leaves, but it's once you start placing in your floral is when it starts to come alive. So I'm just thinking, he didn't say where he'd like the bow, so maybe I'd place it in the center. I don't want to place it here because he wants to see the grapevine, so I'll place that on shortly. Now let's have a look with these maple. We'll add in a few as well. Let's just cut them down a little, and again I'll do the zigzag with these as well. Place some on the outer side and mix them up with the others. So we'll go out, then we'll come in. Then we'll go back out, again in a zigzag positioning. Has anybody started doing the autumnal arrangements, or are you still doing spring and summer arrangements? I've had the odd order for autumn already, and again this is one of them. I'm going to bring one in here, coming in towards the center. That's got a little bit of fraying on it, and I don't want that, so we'll have to tidy that up. I know some people have already started ordering the stocking for Christmas as well, and Halloween. So I'm not going to place in any more of the maple. This is going to look really pretty, guys. So again, we're going to look at let me just think about placing the bow. I don't want it sticking. I don't know. I quite like it when my bows go inside of the foliage and floral, because it makes, to me, that's just my personal preference. It looks like the bow and the floral and foliage are growing throughout, you know, within the bow, and I just like to see that. I'm just placing the wire through the grapevine. Oh, I've done it again. I do this a lot where my weaving needle comes off. There we go. So I've got the wire through, and before I fasten it, I'm going to make sure it's sitting in the correct place. And I'm just going to turn it over, and I'm going to twist the wire cut some of it off. We don't need it that long. And then we're going to just bend that back in. Now I've just seen a stem here, so I'm going to see if I can get far down just to cut that piece off. So a gentleman's coming to collect it. He's going on holiday, but he wanted to place the order before he went. So he's going away for, I think he said 10 days. He's going and enjoying the sunshine in a different country. I think he said Greece. So that is our bow now added in. Doesn't that look pretty? You could just put foliage in, guys, and leave it as it is without any floral. That would look really pretty. I'm going to place, let's get one of these out a moment. I'm going to cut these up, I think. You've got 2 flowers on one stem, and then you could have 2 on another, and then 1 singular one, or have 3 flowers on one and then 2 on another. So I may do it like that. So cut that. And put the one with the 3 flowers right, you know, near the end, so I could try and, you know, manipulate so one of the flowers comes slightly in. So I think I'm going to go around here. As you can see, when I say slightly in, just leaning in like that, and the other 2 going outwards. I can bend that stem and manipulate it a little bit. I'll save that one for the 2 for the moment. Do the same with this one. And the one with the 3 I'll place on the opposite side. So we'll just turn the wreath around. Again, the smaller stem. When I say, I noticed when I watched the video back yesterday, I said the smaller one when I was placing something in the arrangement. What I meant was the smallest stem, not that, you know, I should have said that a bit clearer. And then I've got these. I'm going to place, because the smaller stem on this as well, I'm going to try and you know, just slightly incorporate that to sit on the top of the wreath, and the other one to go out to the side. So we'll manipulate that outwards. I don't know what I'm going to do with the tail ends yet. Then I'll just bring this one here. I'm not going to put 5 in. I know I usually work in odd numbers, but on this occasion I'm just going to place in 4. I will fluff the bow up properly, especially at the end. So that is what we have now. So I'm not going to place in any more of those. Now we do have, they're all quite big, these heads. So I may only place in again 2 of these and place 1 here and then 1 down here. I could place 1 around the side though. I'm going to pull, if I can. Yeah, I'm going to take the heads off the stem and put a pick on it because the stems are extremely thick. I'm going to put quite a bit of glue on to make sure it's going to hold. So we'll let that one dry. We'll do the same to this one as well. I've saved the leaves from the hydrangea. I could use those to place in as well. So we'll see when we get near, you know, further along. Okay. Got to wait for it to set. It doesn't usually take long. Oh my goodness. I've got all these glue strings, they're like spider's webs. So I do have these, and they're not plastic leaves, they are silk, if you can see. So I may place these around the outer side. So I guess we could put these on picks as well. We'll save those stems in case we have something large. So if you've got anything, you know, that you're taking apart like I am, and you've got the leaves left if you like them, place them on a pick and incorporate them into your, create your design or your arrangement. Use them up. Or you could even place the leaves where the hydrangeas are, you know, and go with the hydrangeas as well, or have them as a solid leaf around the side and a bigger leaf. I quite like the idea of the solid leaf around the side. So I think we may as well place these in. So there's a gap here. I'm just going to pop it in there. I think I'll place 2 around each side of the bow as well. And do the same on the opposite side. and one down here. Oops, let me just reposition that. So we've added those in. Let me just check that there's no stems coming out the back. I've just spotted one from the hydrangea leaf. So I'm going to pull that back out, cut it slightly shorter. And place that back there. Right, so now our hydrangeas. I'm going to place one here around where the brown peonies are. Because they're quite a big head, and they will, you know, hide a lot of your grapevine as well. But I don't want them all in a cluster with them being really big. And again, just mix up your foliage within. And I'm going to do the same with one right down here as well, around these three. Let me just like that. And again, I've got the third one, so I could bring this off to the side. Just under some of the loops on the bow. And just not have it sticking out as much. Again, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these. I may, you know, gather them together and just do something like that. We'll see as we go along. Right. Now the gentleman wanted some brown peonies. People do have their own taste, and I love that. I'm gonna bring. He does want. He does like plenty of floral. I'm not going to overload it with all the peonies because we've got that much. I could bring a peony on either end, or maybe a bud or something. Or do I bring just the bigger ones? I think I'll bring the bigger ones. Let me cut that off. Oops, daisy. Or I could bring those around the side and have the white ones in to lighten it. Yeah, I think I'm going to have the, well, I'll say white, cream. So let's just remove the brown ones. Just for now. And I think with there being dark colours around, just add in the lighter tone of floral. Isn't it weird? I find it really interesting. I mean, it doesn't always happen. Some women like these colours as well than pinks or you know, lilacs or, you know, purples, yellows. They do prefer browns. But I find it very interesting, the colour choice that men choose to women. I mean, I do know some men that have chose pinks and things. Or, you know, I'm going to put these two buds around the end. I'm just thinking whether to bring a floral in there. I don't want it to look too much like a line, so I may just pop some of those around the edge as well. So let me just place in the buds on the ends. Yes, I find it's extremely interesting, the colour choice that people choose. But even when some people say, well, this is more of an autumnal colour, I don't mind doing these colours even for summer, because again, everybody has their own colour choice and what they think would look nice, you know, on their doors. And I find that extremely interesting, and it makes a lovely, you know, challenge to do something like that. So I'm going to bring, I think, just one up here. So we've created a triangle, and I'm going to do the same down here as well. So I'm going to bring one on the outer side. So it's going to be around here. And it's not going to be on show as much as the ones that are on top, but it still will be noticeable. And then we'll, as you can see, I've placed that there. So we've got here, here and here. So there's your triangle. And we'll do the same here as well. So we've got that there. So I'm not going to place any more in. Oh, I can't wait till I start to take this jacket off, guys, because in here I don't have any heating system. So when it's a cold day in here, it is cold as well. Now let me look at the brown. Now I may place some of these darker peonies on the outside, either side of the central hydrangea, which is facing on, you know, on the side. So just to bring the peony in a different colour around the outside. Oh, glue strings. So one. I will turn it around in a moment, everybody. So we've placed just two there on the outer side, which you can see here and here. I'm not sure whether to, oops, the daisy. I may bring these two on the ends, on the outer side. So I'll cut the stems slightly shorter, because we don't want them, you know, the stems as long. bring them like as a little cluster. So we bought those as a little cluster on the ends as well. So we don't need those. I'm gonna start to add in some of our hellebore as well as our huckleberry. Let's just take these stems off, as this tag off as well. We'll do it on these. Get these off. I have started to go through a few of my buckets, guys, and sorting out stems. I've mixed some up with others, you know, not on purpose. And I need to go through all of the buckets. I tend to do this 2 or 3 times a year and go through everything. So what have we got here? We've got the leaves again. I like these leaves. If you don't like the leaves on your stems, you know, there's times where I don't actually use them because they're not of the quality that I'd like them to be. And they look a bit, you know, sometimes they can look a bit too cheaper look than what the flowers are. But these are just as nice as the flowers. So I may pull these off and place them on picks to use as well. In fact, I may pull the actual flower off as well. I can't with that one. So the 2 main ones I can do it with. And then we'll just hold back with those a moment. Get the picks. And the reason I tend to put a lot of thick things on picks is sometimes the stems are really thick. And depending on what sort of a grapevine wreath I've got, whether if it's extremely tight, I find it hard to place thick stems in. So by placing things on my own picks, I find it much easier to place in. Now, first of all, where these cream coloured peonies are on top, I'm going to place, and this one here, I'm going to place these around that area. I'm just considering whether to place them shorter or on the outside, because I know that I've already cut a few bits of the huckleberry down, so I could place the huckleberry in here and have the flowers further out. Or do I place the flowers and have the huckleberry further out? I think the huckleberry on the outside, guys, it seems to, you know, look nice. If I keep the theme where all the flowers are mainly on top, I think that may look, you know, quite nice. So I'm going to join this. You've got 2 flowers and a bud on here. So I'm going to join these in with the peonies as well. And I'm going to turn it around and do the same down here. I think that may need cutting a little bit more. So let's take the old glue off. Right, now bend that back up. So we've got those there. Now where did I place them? Now I've got this. I can place, again I'm going to take the leaves off of those, because I can use those to maybe as filler foliage. Just put that there. And I'll place these aside for now until I've added other elements in. So like that. Now I'm going to need another one. Oops, my goodness, I've just hit myself in the face. And I'll take these off as well. So I haven't like prepared with these hellebore because I wasn't sure how I was going to have them put in, whether as a cluster or as a full stem. Usually if I tend to know what how I'm gonna place things in, so then I will prepare before the video. It's just to save time, but sometimes it can't be helped. And that's those, so I don't need that one. So I've got two more of these, because these are either side of really the bow. Sorry, the bow's flattened again. It's because I'm pressing around the area when I'm placing things in. You can even weave your bow through your floral and foliage and have it coming out. I may even cut it shorter. We'll see, because I feel it's pushing the flowers down. But because we've got these two hellebore here, I'm wanting to place in two hellebores down near the end as well. Again, have the cluster of the florals all together. Let's turn it around this way. And have that there also. So I've got a bit of rich red there. I'm going to get the huckleberry and I'm going to bring some of the huckleberry. As you can see, with it having movement, it's very similar to parfivole, but this is, much shorter in the stems, the length of the, the leaves. But by just placing that deep, rich red around that, around the side, allows the greens from the foliage to bounce off of a deep colour as well, which also gives that lovely contrast. So let's cut so many down. Cut a few down. I do love I love huckleberry and I adore parfivole. Let me take the rubber band off. I'm not going to have them too long either. I want them cut. The stems, I don't want them too long. So let's just place one in here. Just make sure it's not going outwards. So I want them sort of like set, oops, a daisy, set within. Let's bring one around the ends as well. And I'm going to pop these around all the outer side. I didn't cut that one. I just place that one there. I've just pulled a leaf off as well, off of something. Shikibi, right, let's have a look. Ah, there it is. Right at the bottom. There we go. Let me just cut another one. Just trying to think where I finished. Right. So we've got the parfavoli, not parfavoli, oh my goodness. The huckleberry. Sorry guys, the huckleberry. I was wondering whether I should bring a huckleberry on the end. I may do that. I think that looks quite nice. Bring two on the ends. We'll cut them short because I don't want them that long. That one's quite long. So these are push-ups. So we'll push them right up to the top. Like so. So I was just thinking of having something like here as well. So if I cut them a little short, because I don't want the stems that long, just to give that little bit of a movement on the inner side as well. And place them around where the little cream coloured peony bud is, to allow something to bounce off of it, as you can see here. So I don't need those now. I've got the foliage from the hellebore, what I can use on the inner side. I don't know whether I'm going to use, yeah, I'm going to pop these in guys, because again these are the last few, so I may as well let the gentleman have them in. I won't charge him because I haven't told him about it. So So again, we'll pop these. And I'm going to sit these so they're really like, I'll just move those. You can see it really up here, not right at the bottom. So I always call this top, middle, and then bottom. So around the middle section, I'm going to bring one down at the side here as well. Let's just move that foliage. And do the same on this side also. Place them around the same, area. They're thereabouts. Again, it doesn't have to be exactly perfect, unless you that's what you're wanting, and then it comes down to, I used to have to learn to measure the spacing, and yeah, it was quite let me just check a moment. So it was quite measuring everything, because sometimes if you're doing something for, maybe it could be a business and they wanted a certain length or anything like that. Let me just see. Then sometimes, you feel to get it perfect for them, because you do get some businesses that can be quite... Oh, I placed that one in the wrong place. I thought something wasn't right. You can get some businesses that are quite particular. So, especially if it's a big corporation business, so then you may find that they want it certain spacing. But not really, people are not really that bothered, as long as it looks really pretty and it's, people notice. It's really, what people care. So we've got that at the moment. I don't know if you can see it because of the camera angle. My apologies. Let me just check for any stems. No, that's wonderful. So I'm going to place in these from the hellebore, and I'm going to cut these down quite short because I don't want them hanging too far. So when I cut them down on picks, and this even applies to if you've got a bunch of something and you only want them small, cut the stem off the bunch small. And then when you're left with that, you can use this, what you've just cut off, as a pick for something else. Especially if you want it for your filler foliage, then you've got a shorter pick already there. So I'm just going to stand up so I can see it above. And I'm going to go. And I'm bringing the point, the point of the leaf coming inwards. I don't want to hide that. I want it to give that little bit of interest from a point, from a leaf coming in. And I'm just going to go round and that. And then one under the bow. One there as well. So we've added in the foliage from the hellebore. I've saved these, what I've cut off. And now we are on our wispy bits. So beforehand I placed some on picks in a few different colours because I wasn't sure which colour I was going to use. So that's that colour. I don't know, they're both quite nice really. Let's have a look at the deeper colour. So just test it, you know, place them around the sides or wherever you're thinking of placing them. You know what, I could have a mixture because they all look nice. So I may have to place some more on picks. I just separate them into piles of each colour. Oops, got one different there. So I may need some more. And I'm going to dot these around quite sparingly again, just so they're, you know, everywhere that they're looking or the customer looks for, they'll spot them. So there's white. How many of white? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 white. So then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get, pull 1 off 6. We're going to have 7 of each, I think. 7 of each colour, because we've got all of the colours in the wreath, so we may as well use all the colours in these little wildflowers. So that's 7, 2. I didn't do any, I don't think, in the 2, 3, 7. So we can wrap those back up. And then we've got 7 in those 2. Let me just put that one back on. It's just popped off. So that's those also. So let's just place these quickly on. And then we're going to just place them around. Now, and I'm going to bring some coming out of the bow as well. So I've got 7 of each colour. So we've got 7 of the, like, I don't know, it's like more like a terracotta colour, which we've got sort of similar tones with the darker peonies. Then we've got the cream, which are like, thank you, we've got like the hydrangea, and then we've got the white, where we've got the hydrangea here in white as well. So we're going to spread those all around, and I think what I'm going to do is place maybe 3 different colours together, one of each, or do I do them singular? Now this is, I don't want it to look too, you know, forced in there and too tight looking, so I may just place, because we've got the darker colour here and we've got the cream here, I may place the white one here. So we'll go with that first. So we'll add a bit of white around here, just for that contrast and for the colours to bounce off each other. So white there, again we've got the dark one there, so I may place the cream here. I know it's next to the hydrangea, but it's not as dark as the hydrangea. So place that there, and then we'll place the terracotta tones. I'll call it terracotta. We'll place it where the cream peony is here, so that the terracotta can just bounce off of the cream. And that is how, as you can see, it's bouncing off of the cream peony. This cream colour is bouncing off of the reds and the darks, and then we've got the white here bouncing off of the dark peonies as well. So we're doing it in colour. So we'll get one of each as well again, and we'll look again on the arrangement. So we've got the cream peony there. What's around here? I don't want the white there, so we could place that peony, that one there, and the cream colour here, and then the white where this dark peony is here. So we'll do that. Just look, I mean, you may come across where a piece of it is close by to a similar tone. Don't worry about that. So we've got that there. Then we've got the white that I'm going to place. That's cream. I'm going to place around here. Again, some are going on the outer side, some are going all on top. And then we'll put this one around the huckleberry as well. So some of, you know, I'm not just keeping them all on top. I am placing some, as you can see, around the edge as well. So that colour is bouncing from the dark burgundy of the huckleberry. I keep wanting to say parfavoli. So we'll do it again. I've got one of each colour again. Let me just move these out of the way, because I keep catching them. So we'll do it again. So we've got that one here, we've got the cream, we've got the darker brown, or the, well, medium colour shade really, because that's a darker colour. That's more like a copper. But with this peony, the big head, I think I'm going to place the white. So we'll bring the white just like there with that. Now I'm going to bring, because we've got the white, the neutral coloured ribbon, I'm going to bring the darker floral in with the ribbon. So I will just place that in the centre as well. So it looks like you've got some floral sticking out there. And then we've got the creamy coloured floral. I've just dropped something on the floor. Oh, it's one of these. I'm going to place near the huckleberry down here. Let me just go and grab the other one that I've just dropped. I hope you can see. I'm not making it very good, am I? I think what I need to do is just bring the wreath over a little bit more. So then we'll turn it again. We'll get one of each colour. We'll cut those down. Let me just cut this ribbon. I'm not having the tail ends this long. I'm going to just shorten them. So, where did we get to? Now we've got a dark one here. So I'm going to place in maybe the cream, because I've got a white here. So if I have one of each colour around the ribbon, so we'll place in the cream. I'm just trying to balance it. So then around under here where the huckleberry is, I'll place a white one. Let me just put some more blue on it. And then where this peony is, I'll bring in the darker one. I have that there. So we'll grab, I may just use 5 of each. I don't know. We'll see as we go along. Because we're near to the end bit here. So I may just use 5. So again, I'll use the white one here. To bounce off. There we go. Off the dark peony there. And the dark hellebore. Let's see. I think I may do it like that. Put this where parfaboli. Oh, a parfaboli. Oh my goodness. The huckleberry. Oh, I do keep getting it wrong. Let's see. I may bring some on the end, so I'm going to bring a darker one on the end as well. So I might grab just another darker one. Bring it just under here as well, so it doesn't look like it's, you know, all by itself with no floral. So that is what we've done with our, I may as well, don't you think guys, I may as well just use these. I've placed them on picks, so I may as well just use them up. I think I'm going to place, some may be really down at the bottom on the inside. So I've got one of those, two of those, and two of those. So I'm going to place these really far in so we can use them up. So I'm going to go really far under here and use them like, you know, like the filler foliage I did. And do it like that. Let me just turn it around so I can see. I may need to cut them slightly shorter because I do want them quite like depth added in. Let's cut these two shorter too. Just bring those under the bottom. Facing in towards the middle. Underneath the foliage. And then one underneath the bow. Oh, I'm moving again. There. So that is our customer's order of a gentleman who wants something for summer as well, going into autumn, so we can get, you know, the most out of the wreath, which I understand fully. I like to do things where there's maybe incorporating 2 seasons or sometimes 3, so you can have the wreath out longer without having to, you know, have another one done. So just incorporate those seasons together, and they do look really pretty. And again, I find it very interesting with the colours, what men choose to what, you know. Oh, again, don't get me wrong, some women choose these colours and prefer these. But that is from an order from a gentleman who wanted, a wreath that will go into autumn. And I think that is really pretty, don't you guys? So let me just get my easel out. Again, he's gone on holiday. Isn't that lucky when somebody goes on vacation or holiday, as we say? Let me just check for any. Just found one stem popping through. So checking for any glue strings or... I can't get it, guys. Oops, that's a bit of the wood. There we have it. Just again check for any glue strings or anything like that. I tend to either get the hairdryer on, on the wreath, or I will steam it so it melts all the glue strings. But for you new beginners, I do treat all of my arrangements, not just certain ones, all of my arrangements. I do spray them with antibacterial spray once I've done. It doesn't harm the flowers or the foliage. And then once that's dry, then I will spray it with UV protection, and once that's dry, then I give it another coat of UV protection, So it always has two. And then once that's dry, I will spray some essence oil on it to give it a lovely smell. Let's just bring this down. I may have to come back, guys, like that. So it gives that lovely smell on, you know, when they open their box and they can smell the floral essence. It's basically the floral essence that I use is usually, because this is like a summer autumn, I will use something what is, you know, quite not strong, or I don't do it where it's extremely strong. But it will make it smell like a, you know, end of summer. You know, I do have different fragrances, and it will give that look. I'm just trying to move all these guys so they're not in the way. Oh my gosh, I'm dropping everything. Let's just get all these back in there. Oh my gosh. So I hope you enjoyed that. And again, if you're starting to do some of your autumnal arrangements, again, I know people are already doing Halloween, autumn and Halloween. And they're already stocking up for Christmas. That C word, guys, I know we don't like to hear it, but they are, because we've not even got over summer yet, or, you know, through summer yet. But it's just the way that the business works, the florals and things like that. We have to be a season or two ahead. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you like the colours. These especially are nice and rich, and the hellebore are beautifully rich. And also I nearly said it again, huckleberry. I nearly said parvivoli. And then we've just added in some light tones, you know, like these cream peonies to bounce off. The gentleman did say he wanted to see the floral, but you know, I did explain I will put some a few around the side, because once, you know, I always say when it's hung up on a door or even a wall or wherever it may be going, people will come, you know, friends, family will look at it, and sometimes they will see underneath if it's higher up, and if there's no floral there, you know, it may not be as pleasing to the eye for some people. So I always, you know, add a bit of floral around the bottom as well, so it's an all-rounder basically. You've got your floral on the top, middle and on the bottom, as I call it. And just by adding in these little ones, again, I always say add florals with big heads and small, so you get, you know, the opposite of things. So you've got the big hydrangea, and then you've got the tiny little wildflower, and then you've got the big peonies here with the smaller hellebore. So I'm doing the opposite of each to add in. And also with your foliage as well, use rough textures with smooth. So you've got your lovely smooth textures here, and then your fern that's rough. So again, do the opposite, and then also do big leaves with smaller leaves. So again, it's always the, you know, incorporate the opposite of what you've chosen. So if you've chosen a big leaf, then try to remember, oh, I need a smaller leaf as well. I need that contrast, and I need that, you know, for it to look more natural and for it to be bouncing off each other, and the balance of it as well. But when we first placed in our Shikibi spray for the foliage, I was creating my boundary, my line, as we say, the correct term, linear. We created the line or the linear of how far I was bringing out the actual foliage and floral. So you see it here. So, and here's the fern. It's meeting up more or less with here. I know here it's sticking out a little bit more. So if that's the case, then bend the fern stem back down slightly and it won't stick out as much. So just put a bend in the stem. And again, we've got foliage what's lighter, and again do the opposite with the tones. Have light with dark, and that again will balance your arrangement out. So we have the dark red here, then we've got the light Fittonia colour, and then we've got like the forest green colour. Hello, the forest green here, and then we have the dark green on the Shikibi. So again, we are making that contrast between tones as well. So I hope you like that, guys. Please subscribe, share and like, and bring everybody along to see the different arrangements and maybe, you know, different ideas that you could do in your choice of colours. But just to give you an idea of what sort of florals as well could maybe look really pretty together, and do it like that. And again, I had 3 different colours of these little wildflowers, so I made sure I was looking at the colours around them to know I wouldn't want to place a dark with a dark, so I added the light tone with the dark. So again, they're next to each other and they're bouncing off of each other. The light is bouncing off the dark and the dark is bouncing off the light. You know, try to think of that as you're creating as well. And again, you don't have to put a bow here. If you don't want a bow, or you're a person that doesn't like bows, or your customers don't like the bows, then you could just move this hydrangea from here and place that there instead. Or maybe use a, you know, a sign, or, you know, an attachment or anything like that, and have it here as well, or have the attachment over here. Again, it's your choice, guys. The world's your oyster. So I hope you enjoyed that. Again, please press that subscribe button and share with your friends and family, and, you know, people who you may know. I much appreciate it. It would really help me with my, I think that it's called, is it algorithms? So yeah, it helps with that as well. So, and give it a go. Give yourself a go, and, you know, to do something that's like an end of summer, autumn look, and you'll really enjoy it, guys. Whether it's in the browns or oranges or deep reds, you know, incorporate something like that, and have fun. So have a wonderful day, guys. Take care. All the best. Now I've caught up with my work now. I've done this order, so I've got to carry on going through my buckets, and I've done 12, only 12, only 12. I've got about another, oh gosh, probably about another 70 to go. That's going to take me a while, but I'll just crack on. It will get done. So have a wonderful day, guys, and again, good health to you all, and God bless, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now. Bye-bye. Right, let's get in. Let's move this stand. Right, there's a lovely, like, it's like, it looks peach a little bit, but you could use peach with this arrangement. But it's like a, I don't know, it's like a tanny colour with cream or peachy undertones. There's a beautiful, rich, deep red, and now that has a few black undertones. As you can see where my thumbnail is, there is a little bit of black right around the tip as well. And then your little wildflowers, you have them in the cream, then you have them in like the terracotta colour, we'll call it terracotta, and then you have them in the white as well. And then you have these lovely ruffled or peonies as well, in the lovely, like a coppery colour really. which I find are really attractive. And then you have your beautiful cream coloured peony as well added in there. And then you've got your fern, and I've added in, where did I add it in? Oh, here, this is from the hydrangeas as well. So we've added the leaves separately in, pulled them off and put them on a pick. And then we've also done that with the leaves from the hellebore here. And we've added some maple leaves in as well in a cream tone. And our shikibi spray here. And our lovely deep rich huckleberry also. And our lovely Fittonia that's got the lovely veins in. And then of course our ribbon, where it's got the neutral with the white. I'll call them flecks. I can't remember what the lady called them, but they are slightly raised. And then you have the brown where it's got glitter on, but it doesn't shed, which is lovely. And we've left some of the grapevine for the gentleman to see. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys, and give it a go and take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Bye-bye.